welcome to the newest episode of the Otafest podcast, the Sleepy Edition. It's me, Nancy, and I'm here with Jay and Angela.
Hello.
It's
Everybody's
Sleepy Jay
tired
and Sleepy
today.
Angela.
Oh,
Well,
yes. So extraordinarily tired. Why are you guys tired?
I'm 30 now. I'm allowed to be tired just like you guys.
Oh, I didn't
Please.
realize that was
Ageist.
it. I already had that excuse going. Today's
Yes.
my
Yeah,
first day off
seriously.
in almost 2 weeks.
Oh, gosh. And you work shift work, so your hours fluctuate quite a bit.
I was at work until 8 a.m. today.
Well,
Dear
it's not that his
Lord.
hours fluctuate, it's that his shift times are just so goddamn long. And
So it was my first day off, but I was at work till 8 a.m. Does that even count?
yeah.
Yeesh. Well, when did your shift start?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's
we're
the
talking
thing.
like 10-hour.
Hell yeah.
It was a 12-hour
Yeesh.
shift.
Yep.
Oof.
I mean, 12 hours is just 12 hours.
Yep.
It's the same to me.
How do either of you feel about caffeine as a crutch?
I don't.
It is
I
not
don't
a
use
crutch.
it
It
as
is a necessity.
It's not
Oh.
a necessity for me at all, actually.
Okay.
I don't. I literally take coffee because I like the flavor. Same goes for tea, but I don't really. I
Mhm.
drink it less than one time, like once a month for caffeine. Probably less than 6 months. Anyway.
Well, I do enjoy good coffee. I prefer good coffee over like Keurig coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, Keurigs are the
Unfortunately,
worst.
we have a Keurig at work,
Oh dear.
and
You poor soul.
all the coffee pods are not particularly good.
You ever tried Keurig tea pods? They're
that.
awful.
I'm not really
Timmy's
much of a
down
tea
your
drinker,
gullet.
and I knew they were awful, so I just have not.
Stuff
Oh,
that
they're
Timmy's
awful.
down your gullet and say thank you, Daddy.
But yeah, so last night I think I had either 4 or 5 coffees between
Jesus,
12
dude.
and 6:30 a.m.
Oh jeez. Were you like really dehydrated afterwards?
No, that's just the way it goes.
Oh gosh.
I will
Yeah,
say,
I'm just sleep deprived.
as somebody who says who just literally said they don't have coffee very often, it's pumpkin spice season, and I do like pumpkin spice as a flavor. I don't mind being a basic bitch.
Oh, pumpkin spice is
So
great.
yeah, so I have had more coffee in the last like 2 weeks, but it's literally because I want pumpkin spice, and I'm just having it not at like. Here's the thing: I don't drink caffeine in the morning. I don't drink it at night to try and like keep up or anything.
Oh, good God,
I'll
I
get
do not have it if I intend to sleep that night.
oh, I can sleep.
Mm.
I can sleep fine with like a coffee right before.
Rather,
Like it does not. It
If
doesn't matter.
I drink a coffee at 5, it will easily keep me up. Not until 12, but rather after I've already gone to bed, it will wake me up at 3 a.m.
Oh,
Oof. You have an
no.
interesting metabolism, sir.
Nah,
definitely never had
that's
that
just the way
issue.
that caffeine do.
I will have a coffee basically in the middle of the day, and again, not as a wake up. It's like this is pumpkin spice season. Before these last 2 weeks of pumpkin spice starting up, I probably hadn't had a coffee more than like twice in a single month. This
Wow.
whole year.
Either of you like to eat cereal? There is pumpkin spice cereal at Costco now.
Wow.
Yes, it's a thing.
I mean, I would.
I'm not
I would
against
probably
that.
try
That
it.
sounds good.
Yeah.
It tastes fine.
You
I
know
just
it would
like
be better than
pumpkin
pumpkin
stuff.
spice
Crunchy.
cereal, though?
Hmm.
Pumpkin pie for breakfast.
I've had pumpkin pie for breakfast.
Why wouldn't you
Sure,
have
why
if you
not?
had pumpkin pie, why wouldn't you have it for breakfast?
It's good. I like
have
it.
no reservations about what type of food I can have for breakfast.
Yeah.
I'll eat a goddamn like steak and mashed potatoes for breakfast if I
Yes,
felt like
I
I
cooking
have
will
in the
and I
absolutely
morning.
done that.
have.
Yep. I've had
Mm.
ribs for breakfast. I've had sushi for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Ramen for breakfast, and I will
Oh yeah, I've done that.
But today I just had really basic cinnamon apple oatmeal.
Is there anything in
Hmm.
particular that you find became like just a recurring breakfast food for you that is not really considered a breakfast food at all?
I like.
For example-
maybe, like leftovers. from
you
the
said
night before.
recurring. You said recurring, and that's
Throughout
sort of the
most of
difficult
college, like instant noodles were my breakfast. For no
Wow.
reason other than hell yeah, a nice
It was
warm
easy.
like a warm breakfast that actually filled me up until about lunchtime, 4 hours or so. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm not even joking. That was a habit that kept with
I
me
mean,
because I
that's
just didn't like
fine.
cereal.
Are you a
Oh,
breakfast
fair.
eater, Nancy?
I think we've talked about this before. I do tend to have breakfast now
Yeah.
because we're working from home and Sean tends to make a breakfast for me. I used to have a really bad habit of just running out the door and not having breakfast
Right,
and
right.
being
You were
really stinking hungry by like
you were
10:30.
late for your school, anime girl, and you had some toast in your mouth as you left the
Nope,
door.
not even toast in my mouth on the way out
No.
the door. Like this is just me going into work and being hungry by 10:30.
I have a not available answer for Angelo's question because I just don't eat breakfast on the regular. I like breakfast. I just don't eat it very often. And if I do, it's not breakfast in the form of like this is something I'm gonna sit down. It's like it's probably an orange that I'm having on the bus, or I have some fruit with me, real quick. But it's neither weird or recurring, you
Okay.
know?
When So,
So,
when I was going to the office, getting breakfast was a happenstance and it was a social event. It's
yeah.
because someone said, "Do you want to go next door to Rosso and get breakfast?" And I'll say, "Oh, yeah, let's catch up while we do that." And I would miraculously end up with like a biscuit or a whatever, a bagel. And that's why I ended up with breakfast. Typically, what happens is that I just take off for an early lunch and I want lunch at like 11 because I'm just dying of hunger.
What's your favorite breakfast that you can, like, let's say from a fast food place?
From a fast food place.
Ooh.
If you just like, I woke up for some reason and I've got to get going and I am hungry. I don't really want to make anything. I want to grab something. Where do you go? What's your preference and what do you like to get?
I would absolutely just go with like a sausage McMuffin, but I actually prefer the breakfast like biscuit sandwiches from Tim Hortons. At the very least, I
Oh,
Mm,
used to prefer them. I haven't had them in like 5 or 6 years. Mostly
yeah,
because
same.
going to Tim Hortons in the morning is like the
A
dumbest
hell.
thing you can
trial.
possibly do.
It is a trial.
Like you just don't.
Everyone else is
Never.
cranky and in a bad mood, and everyone, including the people serving you, are
Right.
just no one is
I'm
having
pretty
it.
sure like Black Friday at Walmart in the States
Oh
is less
no.
busy than Tim Hortons in the morning.
Ooh, here's a question. Here's a
No,
question.
hold
Do
on.
the
Answer, answer,
Walmarts
answer, 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 answer.
answer? Okay, my
Answer the
fast food
breakfast question
answer.
first. Yes.
My favorite thing to get if I'm just like on the go in a rush and I just need something for caloric intake
Yeah.
is probably just getting a hash brown or two. That's literally just
Yo,
I just
hash
want
browns
something
are always
salty.
Hash
good.
browns are legit.
A
Yeah,
and
I just want
W,
something
A and
salty,
W
some
has
crispy.
amazing hash browns.
Do they?
Yeah,
They
they
have they
do.
have I think they have the best fast food hash browns.
Okay.
They
They're
do.
like they're fairly
Actually.
because they have a they're a little bit larger than McDonald's ones for one thing.
Oh.
They're a little like thicker,
Mhm.
and
They're so
I
perfectly
think they actually
crispy
yeah they cook them
but
for a little bit
soft on the
longer. They're a little
inside.
bit crispier and everything, so they're
Yeah.
nice. Uh,
Um, on that note, A&W, like any of their breakfast bagels, mwah, so good when I'm in a rush.
yeah, I prefer breakfast wraps from Timmy's. They're usually just reliable. They're like they're pretty tasty. The farmer's wrap has a hash brown inside the wrap, which is always a big thing for me for breakfast wraps. That's what makes a
Yum.
breakfast wrap for me is that it also
Yummy.
has a hash brown. Otherwise, it's just a wrap.
Mm.
That's fair.
Um, yeah, but
For me, like a
um,
breakfast wrap has to have scrambled eggs in it. Like
that's fair.
for
That's
me, that
fair.
is what defines a
A
breakfast wrap.
breakfast
You
wrap?
could put
I was
anything
just
else
gonna
in it,
say.
but as long as it has scrambled eggs, it has
Yeah.
transformed into a breakfast wrap.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
I gotta say, scrambled egg wraps, real good.
Weirdly enough, I know Nancy has the Walmart things she wanted to say, but just on the topic of Tim Hortons, real quick, the one on 17th Ave, which you think is a super busy place, and was at one point, I know this for sure, was open 24 hours as one of the few Timmy's open 24 hours in the city, closed down.
Mm-hmm. What, they closed down?
And that's
Like,
just,
just actually shuttered.
yeah, as a Timmy's, especially like, in a downtown location, and, there's a lot of things you could espouse from, like, I think personally, the business side of things.
Well, yeah.
Seeing a
Because they were
Timmy shut down is weird.
But they were like 24-hour, which meant that if you were on the strip and you were drinking late at night and you just needed somewhere to go, that's where you went.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Like, that's where you would go to go get something greasy and
No.
sober up.
I
I
would
just don't know how that.
intentionally
I just don't know
not
how
be
Tim's
open
gonna shut.
24 hours just to avoid that.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not the one running the
I'm
Timmy.
sure.
I know.
I'm sure all the nightmares of being a service worker were like 300 times magnified by working at that location.
Oh,
you know?
good God,
I
yes.
bet.
Right. Sorry, Nancy.
Poor
What?
people.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but what was your Walmart thing?
Okay, so we were talking about. Angelo mentioned that Black Friday at a Walmart must have been just the absolute worst time. My question was, do American Walmarts have McDonald's in them the way that Canadian ones do?
I'm fairly certain they do.
Do they?
I'm
I've never
fairly
That
been.
makes
certain that
sense.
they do.
I've
Well,
never
that
been,
makes
so I
so
don't
much
know.
sense. But it's so funny to me whenever I see a Walmart and like in the same parking lot is a McDonald's, but also there's one when you go inside.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. I
Okay,
wonder if they have. They must
I've
have some
only
kind of
experienced that
franchising
a
agreement.
few times, and almost every single time it was that the Walmart McDonald's existed there first, and they put the parking lot McDonald's out there afterwards. Because a lot of people wanted McDonald's, but they did not want to deal with Walmart to get
Well,
it.
I want to point out that even we have that. It doesn't like it's not everywhere, obviously, but Northland,
Yeah, I
right?
couldn't tell you which one came first at Northland.
Northland has the Walmart and the McDonald's inside, and there is a
Mhm.
McDonald's outside. However, I will almost say this as well. I'm like 90% sure that the exterior McDonald's was there first.
Like I'm fairly certain because I think for a while that Walmart didn't have anything inside it.
Well, I
Like as
also,
as like
yeah,
an eatery.
yeah, I remember a time before Walmart's having McDonald's all the time in them, and therefore I'm fairly certain that McDonald's outside existed first. And I think they're both
Yeah.
still in operation, which is kind of strange almost, but it's not really any different
Mhm.
from like your competition that could be like A-Dubs or Subway or anything else nearby. So
But could you imagine how extra crap that would be to be working at that McDonald's inside a Walmart on a Black Friday?
this is
You know
why,
what? Leaving your house on Black Friday is just a bad idea.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is true.
so
Like, even if you have to go to
uh,
work, just
In Canada, it's not
call in
that bad.
sick or something. Just sleep in. Don't go anywhere. I'm glad that a few companies have come out and just said, yeah, we're not doing Black Friday this year. Just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
don't come in.
Um,
We're not doing anything.
in that vein, slightly related, I am I'm currently on the wait list to buy a certain graphics card.
A certain graphics card.
Yeah, it's the EVGA FTW3 NVIDIA
Oh,
N30
Oh,
3090.
I
EVGA.
didn't hear you. Did you say 3080 or 3090?
I won't tell you because you're gonna get mad.
You're getting the
Okay
3090. Oh
then.
my.
I just,
Oh boy.
yeah. Anyway,
Your one
um,
graphics card costs more than my entire PC.
dude, I think that graphics card costs more than my entire PC right now, and
Jeez.
so,
On that vein, I literally just bought someone in my family a new PC
yeah.
because theirs fried
Oh
Oh
after a lightning
no.
storm.
Oh,
So a lightning
surge
storm
protection.
apparently hit some part of the house and fried everything from the modem in.
ouch.
Yeah, so the modem is dead, the router is dead. The network card was actually the first thing to go on the PC, and then everything else followed suit very quickly afterwards.
That happened to
And
my
that
uncle
PC, I
once
want you to
20 years
I
ago.
want you to guess how much that PC cost because we're talking about high-end video cards and high-end like
Oh
gaming PCs.
no. Wait, the new PC?
Yep, the new one that I bought them.
Oh, I'm going to say 1800, 2000.
Nope,
I'm gonna
Lower or higher?
say
lower.
Lower?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay.
say
14.
I'm gonna say like 1200.
Nope, lower.
Oh, are we
800.
talking 400? Was it used?
So I got no, a little bit higher than that, but it's like an $800 PC
I said
and it was
800.
on sale.
All right.
Yeah,
Third time.
800.
Did it
First
actually have
try.
dedicated
800.
graphics card?
It does.
Or is it like an APU?
It's just like a little dinky like Intel graphics card, but it is dedicated.
Okay.
What? Oh,
I mean,
Bu-
it still plays. It still
It's
plays
not an
nice.
But
onboard one, so that's meh.
It still plays.
To be
uh,
fair, this is not intended to be a very intensive
Intel
PC.
Z graphics haven't been released to consumers yet, especially not like as a standalone. What? What?
What?
She
What?
didn't say anything
What are you
about.
talking about?
She didn't say anything
Intel
about
doesn't
the
have dedicated
specifications.
graphics. They only have onboard right now. That's available to
Oh.
consumers.
Yeah, but that's you're talking
I
about a
must
chip.
have
You're
the
not
name
talking
wrong.
about whatever it might be. I'm sure it still has an onboard graphics card. It's just not an Intel uh provided one. Um,
Maybe.
Oh, the thing that I was trying to say though about the graphics card about the 3090 is that
Yes.
my contact over at Memory Express was telling me about basically people were, they've been waiting to buy uh 3080 cards, 3090 cards, doesn't really matter, and definitely folks have been camping out since like 4 a.m. on release days.
Holy cow.
Oof.
Only to be told that Memory Express has not really received many cards to be in physical stock. So therefore, they had to be put on a wait list as well.
To my understanding, there were like less than 1,000 sold in Canada on release day.
Yeah. Less
Yeah.
than 1,000 I think is a
That might be
really
a
kind way
gross
of putting it.
overstatement. It might
Yeah.
have been
I
in
think
like
I
the
think
100 range.
I want to say it was less than 500 if I
Oof.
had to guess across
So how
all
many do you think
vendors.
actually came to our city?
Probably
20.
like 3.
My guess is 20 total across every vendor. That's talking Best Buy, Memex, basically any other shop that can get it, like 20. Some shops getting 2 in stock at most,
Wow.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that's
Imagine being that shop. We had two. We had multiple of these
Yeah.
uh
in stock
that's
at a given
not that
time.
unusual. Like for several iPhone launches when I worked at the source, we
Yeah.
literally got one phone.
Wow.
So
That's
if you
insane.
didn't want the one phone that we were able
So,
to get, good luck.
what's company policy for something like that where like you as employee who wants X product in very, very low release numbers, like are you just not allowed to buy it?
As far as that
Do you
goes,
get
when
to
I
jump
worked
a
at the
queue?
source, it was discouraged. At the same
I like
time,
that. It was
if
discouraged.
you're
I like
paying cash, there's
discouraged.
Yeah.
nothing to trace it back to you.
Wow. So basically, be responsible with your money and don't use a credit card.
Uh,
Remember, kids, cash is always king.
Honestly, that was just it. Like,
Cash rules everything around me.
Yeah.
they didn't look. Our system was very primitive, so it didn't attach names. It didn't like pull names from credit bureaus or credit cards or banks or anything. That
Uh-huh.
wasn't something they could do. So even if you used a card, there was nothing to stop you
Right.
from doing it. The only rule that we had was that an employee couldn't ring themselves up with their own employee discount,
I think that's fair.
which is
I think
fair.
that's pretty standard. That's
But
pretty
again, the
standard.
system didn't do anything about it. Like it didn't
Right.
stop you.
Yeah,
It was
It's
a soft
if
discouraged.
rule.
what you're trying to say is if you knew someone else's login, you could also just do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm sure that happens too, and it's not necessarily that people are doing it in a like maliciously. It's just part of the very few perks that an entry-level service worker gets.
Exactly.
So,
I think the best little perk like that was playing Pokemon X with my coworker the night before it released.
oh nice. I mean
Hmm.
that Pokemon X is not a bad game.
Oh, it was great.
It was a
Both
fun
me
little
and
game.
him, we were like, okay, we are coming in. We can't buy it until tomorrow. We would get immediately fired if it went through our system tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll open them up. We'll buy them tomorrow morning because we were both working the next morning shift.
Right.
Uh, that one we actually had stock on, so if people wanted it, we could still sell them. It wasn't like we were
Mm-hmm.
taking
Mm-hmm.
stock away from other people.
No, no,
And that was
that's
just
fair.
great. That was a real
That's
fun
good.
shift between me and him.
Uh, speaking of going,
Speaking.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry, speaking of Black Friday, I think I just saw an email go by that said that Prime Day was announced. I don't know if anybody really cares about
Fuck
supporting
Prime
Amazon
Day.
Prime, but
I don't really like. I am trying to lessen my purchasing with Amazon. There are a few things that I
same.
will buy with them. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's just if I can avoid them as a vendor as a whole, I do try to. Some things are just that difficult to find. So
Mhm. Now that's
that's all
that's
it
what
comes
I
down
was
to.
kind of heading towards is how you guys feeling about Amazon, but that's pretty plain Jane.
I have
Yeah.
no issues with Amazon that I didn't have before. It's just that Prime Day is always it's disappointing. Like you,
I don't think Prime Day's been good for years.
I have never since I've been shopping on Amazon has Prime Day actually been exciting. Like I've gone on there and most of the deals, if there are any, are like $5 off of something that is $200, uh, or is just like inventory return or something. It's like
Right.
it's just the garbage that nobody wants that they
They're
discount. And
like
that's
they discount.
fair. They're allowed to do that. It's just
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
They discount like many items, but they're all fairly minuscule, and then there's like a few like what you would call door crashers, right? Like that any sort of
Mhm.
physical
Now
store
that I
might
think
have.
about it, I bought my AT2020 on Amazon Prime Day and it was like 30
Oh.
bucks off.
Yeah, and the
Nice.
mic,
I
yeah,
think I got my AT2020 for 30 bucks off too.
yeah, an AT2020 is roughly about 180 bucks Canadian, I want to say, up to 220 depending on the time of purchase, sort of.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah. I
range,
think I
but
got mine for something closer to like
yeah,
110. So
yeah.
I
yeah.
think
But
mine was around 150,
the
but
door crashers are like, like any major retailer, any major storefront will have door crasher deals, and those are the ones who are like marked off 30 to 40%, and maybe it's actually the one or two good deals in the whole store. And
Yeah.
Amazon at the end of the day does not really like anything with a subscription service. They're not really caring about the products you're buying. They want that subscription more
It's
than
true
anything
though.
else. They can get like this is not a conspiracy level of they can get your information, but they have your information. They can advertise directly to you because you have to agree to their terms of service to be part of the email chains and all that kind of stuff. They can sell you other services like Twitch Prime, Amazon TV, which I really
well, I
didn't
mean,
like
if you
Amazon
get
TV.
Yeah.
just Amazon Prime, you get those other things for free.
You get those
Yeah.
other things
But
for
you get
free.
them at base tier, right? Like for Amazon Prime
Yeah.
Video, you have to pay for like the actual good shows.
Yes.
Really, I have
Yes.
never
It's
paid
Yeah.
not.
attention to
It's
that.
So the
yeah.
three times I have tried watching anything on Prime Video, there are ads, really long ones. They're longer than like a YouTube ad at the
Oh,
beginning of a
oh
YouTube
no.
Hmm.
video. It's actually really hard for me to enjoy a show on Prime
I
Video
actually just
because of
noticed
that.
this today, but on
Oh?
Twitch, Amazon found a way to bypass uBlock Origin.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Feels bad, man.
Yep.
Feels bad
I
indeed.
love watching Twitch right now, like because it's a source of like changing entertainment. That's not just like I'm watching a series or I'm waiting for YouTube channel stuff to come out. But there is a ridiculous amount of ad time on Twitch because Amazon knows that Twitch exploded, especially during quarantine and
Oh yeah.
coronavirus times and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's real bad. And yeah, there I didn't used to see many ads, and now it's like I can't start a stream without one. And seeing as most
Hooray.
streamers do, like a lot of my streamers that I watch at least tend to go on for 5, 6, 8, 12 hours, and it's like watching TV with the amount of ads I can get sometimes.
Oh my god,
Wow.
that feels bad.
That's rough.
And it's always a friggin' The Boys. It's the friggin'
Yeah, I've
Boys.
noticed that too.
I
Yeah.
have
Same
no
here.
idea what The Boys is, but YouTube
It
keeps trying to
looks
make me watch analysis videos on it.
it looks
Mm.
fine. I just don't care, and I'm not going back into Prime. I just don't. I buy just like coffee. I don't buy a whole lot of stuff from Amazon either on the regular. So
But you know what else I've watched? Like YouTube has been I don't know why. YouTube is really trying to make me watch like movie and TV analysis videos. There are a
I've
lot of
been
Mulan
shown a lot of
analysis
those.
videos.
are you talking
Yeah,
about
I've
like
been shown a
reviews?
lot of analysis videos from Mulan, which was apparently the remake this year
Yeah.
was pretty heavily disliked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Disney remade it and everybody disliked that.
Yep.
I don't want to have I don't want to get into too deep because there's a lot of it to dislike, I think, and a lot to tear apart. And that's why those review videos are so popular, because there's so much content that you can rip apart on something like Mulan. But
Mhm.
in my very basic opinion, they should have either just remade the cartoon version, or they should have followed the Chinese folklore story to almost to a T, instead of making something stupid and weird in the middle.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
it.
I
That's
agree
it.
with that.
I think last time we talked about the Mulan live action remake, I was like, what's the point if they're not gonna have the songs?
I was
And
excited.
and you
I
were
was
like, oh, but
excited.
it could follow like the folklore, the ballad,
Yeah.
the
I'm cool with that because I think that would still be really like nicely done. And there are other live action Mulan films that are really well
Mhm.
done. But I did, not
but
gonna
they
lie, I wanted to
decided to
see a
do the worst of
yeah.
both worlds.
Yeah, I wanted to see a
They
Disney
did.
level, like, production, because they obviously have the cash monies. So I want to see what they could come up with, and they didn't come up with anything great. So now I'm never gonna watch it because I don't want to waste my time with that kind of disappointment.
Yeah, but you could just watch the old one again, and it'd be great.
Exactly.
Yep.
I Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
But like you watch one and like the YouTube algorithm throws tons more at you. And for the most part they all kind of have the same things to say.
Yep. Basically, Mulan is Haruhi Suzumiya, and that's it.
Speaking of Haruhi, out of sort of nowhere, I first of all, I saw that there was like a new Snapchat filter thing. I don't use Snapchat that often, but it
Oh,
was more
that
like
turns you into an
through
anime.
it turns into the anime, but because of the art style and obviously the simplification of that whole algorithm for the facial detection, it literally turns you into one of two art styles. You're either Attack on Titan or you're Kion
Oh my
from
god.
from
Oh
Haruhi.
wow.
It's
Oh no.
literally it. I have seen no variation because
Kyokun Denwa.
they can't.
And
I'm
also
Kion.
apparently it doesn't deal well with like facial hair.
Oh
Yes,
no.
it doesn't do anything with
Now that I think
expression.
about
So
it, no anime characters have facial hair.
this is
What?
true.
That can't be right.
It's
No, no, no.
it's
Only the
hyperbole.
great manly ones. So you have Armstrong and Izumi Curtis's husband, who are great strong men, and they are allowed to have facial hair. But if you are sort of like, even if you're working your way up to being like super strong and stuff, unless you come out with that bravado macho right from the beginning, you're not allowed to have facial hair.
Yeah. The
It doesn't matter
Japanese
Huh.
if
just don't like facial hair. They
Unless you
I
fit a
don't think
very
that's
specific
true.
stereotype.
I don't think that's true, but I don't think anime cares for it.
rather I'm getting that factoid from one very specific video where a YouTuber went to a host club and got to be a host for a night. And
Oh,
he
got to be a host for a
oh
night.
yeah. And this guy,
Oh.
I guess I'll name drop it, CDog VA. He normally has quite a bit of stubble going on, and they were like, "No, we got to shave that. We got to smooth it down." They damn near
Hmm.
waxed his
No.
face to get rid of facial hair.
Oh no! Oh, that sounds so painful.
I don't know how if this is related at all, but I recently learned that, there's maid cafes and there's like cat cafes, robot cafes. There's so many different kinds of, shall we say, service types in
Mm.
Japan's like themed cafes. And I recently learned that there's one where it's, um, for the lack of, I just don't have good phrasing for it. It's a white people cafe.
A Gaijin
Where
cafe?
it's sort of
What?
like a guy. So it's white dudes in
Okay.
butler uniforms, and you come in and they'll address you as things as like my princess.
Oh,
CDog
it's the
VA, get
reverse
in
of
on
a
that.
host.
That is your
Yeah.
territory right
It's
there.
and I don't know how like how good looking you have to be or whatever. I mean the very few pictures I saw were like, I guess they're like average looking, but not like bad in any way. But
It's
I
like a
guess it just
prince
caters.
cafe almost.
I guess, but it's sort of. I don't know. I think
Like
it's just sort of weird, like, because it makes me think
it
it's like,
just reminds
is
me
there
of
like a
like the
weird like,
Oran host
is there like
question.
an Africa cafe?
Oh
Like,
Gosh.
no.
I'm just saying you
Oh
could
gosh.
extrapolate, right? I don't know if there's an Africa cafe, but I also wouldn't put it past Japan to have an Africa cafe. That's all I'm saying. And I've been there, and I hate going to those things. I've never been to one, but I don't
Yeah, I've
want to
never
go to
been to
one
one
because they
either.
terrify me a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, they make
yeah,
me
that's fair.
cringe.
Yeah.
For sure.
I
But
would.
So
like in my head I just sort of see an Oron host club but like in person and it's a little like it works in animation because it's so over the top, but I couldn't imagine it being actually entertaining in person.
Part of me
uh,
wants to try going to a maid cafe once, but every time, everything that I've heard about them, it's like, yeah, you have the most depressing omurice there, and they charge you like $30 for
yes,
it,
the food
and drinks are
No.
apparently
just
is
bottled
very
garbage,
underwhelming.
and it's just,
Yes.
if you're not there to look at cute maids, what are you just doing? Just what
And
are
I'm
you
not
doing with your
and
life?
and
Just leave.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not there to look at cute maids
Yeah,
because
I would want
I
desserts.
have
I would want some good stuff.
yeah,
I would want a
we're
good
foodies,
cafe
man. We want
with maids
food.
as a feature.
Yeah.
Instead, it's maids and food is there, I guess.
Angelo, if we ever go to Japan together, which by the way I'd totally be down
I'd
for.
be down.
Same.
I
If we
wanted
go
to
to a
go this
yeah,
year. Well, no, last year,
well you should
but
have because I was
no,
there
this
last
year.
year.
That's right, this
Okay.
year.
Okay.
I did want to
You
go
don't
last
remember
year, but
time
just
I
money
anymore.
wasn't
also
there.
wanted to go
This
this
year,
year.
money's there, but Corona
Oh,
is
okay.
everywhere.
No. Here's a cafe that I actually would have gone to, which is aside from like the geeky ones, which I don't count, like Pokemon cafes and stuff. Like I'm talking about people like it's based on a certain like that service style. I want to
Uh-huh.
go to the Bara Cafe,
Oh my.
like the buff
Okay.
men serving you.
I wait. Are they dressed the way I'm imagining right now?
So,
Part of me is
from the
just
very few
imagining them
pictures I've
like
seen,
all oiled and wearing only fundoshis, but I'm pretty sure that's not it.
Yup.
no, it's
Oh.
they usually have like some kind of like let's say not Daisy Dukes, but they're sort of like
Oh my.
ripped jean shorts that are
Jorts?
still like short. They're shorts. They're
They're
not short shorts.
jorts.
They're still shorts, right? And then they
Jorts.
have like the other one that or not the other one, the only one I've seen. So they have those shorts, and then they'll have an apron that like covers their top, like like a proper apron, not just like a little frilly one at the bottom or whatever.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
but that's pretty much it. And then they're just buff boys.
Damn.
Buff boys.
Yeah.
I could appreciate that. Why
I can
not?
appreciate it, and I'm just hoping that the food is good though.
It probably isn't.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
probably isn't.
Unless you go to a really high end one.
Well, I'm hoping that the food is like really like protein heavy. Like they're like we're here to get like muscly buff,
It's
and
food
therefore,
for buff baras. I don't think so
yeah,
though.
exactly.
It's
Buy
it's
buff
probably
bars.
food for like tiny fujoshis.
You're probably absolutely right, and it does make me
You're
absolutely
probably
sad.
right.
But a man can dream, and it's
Yeah.
like
Lady can
straight like
dream
a
too.
straight man can dream. I'm super don't caring about it, but I think it's just a lot more fun of an experience than I don't know, just a bunch of like
I
underage
just
Pump
don't.
iron first and
girls
arm
to.
wrestle your waiter for the meal.
Oh yeah, you have to pay.
No,
Dude.
for
If
their
I win,
tip.
That
you
would
have
be
to
For
so
their
pay.
tips.
cool.
Okay. If you
No,
win,
you don't tip in
it's a
Japan, my dude.
50% tip, but if I
You
win,
You
don't
don't
it's
tip
tip
in
only
in
Japan.
15.
Japan.
I
It's
know.
rude to tip in
I
Japan.
know.
It's very rude. But like I just don't want it to turn out to be the Japanese equivalent of a Chippendales show cuz I've been to one of those and they're depressing.
If I win the arm wrestle, you're getting a 50% tip whether you like it or not. If
Oh
you
my.
win, you keep your dignity.
Oh my.
Oh, dignity.
Oh boy. That's going to be a good soundbite for Jada Cleep to hang on to later.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know. I we've talked about it a couple times. I hate most main cafes.
Yeah, it's
The only
just the
one I
way it be.
tolerate is the Otafest main cafe
Clearly.
for good reasons.
Clearly.
You should go
Well, ours is
if
awesome.
we ever
That's
have one
why.
ever again, which we will
It
because we're
will
not dead
happen.
in any way. We're not,
So
by the way, if
speaking
anyone freaks out about that comment offhandedly. We're
speaking of
doing fairly well as a whole, and we're planning. I like not to get too far ahead, but I mean like we were talking with Dio last episode, and we were talking about like we're still having staff meetings and things like that. Like we're doing well. We're just on hiatus, like so many other things are. So,
Mhm.
you know what's not on
Yeah.
hiatus? The friggin'
Uh,
Los Angeles ComicCon, apparently.
right. What's going on with that?
So I don't like everyone knows like SDCC. I don't think LACC is as well known because like San Diego probably sort of overshadows it a little bit. But with it being said, Los Angeles Comic Con, which the information I read was in an article, so I'm just regurgitating off of that. They're usually held in August. They're going to be held in December. They've decided to go forward with it of this year. They're already selling tickets. They're usually 100,000 strong person con, and now they're only expecting 50,000 people to come.
If they
Oh
uh
no.
if they divide
Only.
that by 1,000, I think they can make it work.
I just I I can understand the reasons and the motivation behind it because I would love to run an Otafest this year. I would have loved it. I would have
We
loved
all
to run
would.
an Otafest right now if I could. If you told me I could safely run an event in December, I would. But I
Man,
gotta
this
throw
at
some
the
shade
start
here.
of the
I
summer, I was
yeah
optimistic that by this time of the year things would be back up to normal and things could be running. And
yeah we we
no, at
we
this
might have had
point in
like
time,
a
I don't even know if next summer things will happen.
right. I'm telling you
Yeah.
like I
I want to be
don't like
optimistic.
I don't like shitting on other events. This is something I have to throw a little shade on. Like I'm not saying I don't want you to succeed. I'm saying that this is
It's
the
reckless.
least
Irresponsible.
It's stupid.
safe option you could have done for not you, but everyone else around you. And in
Irresponsible.
that regard, I hope you fail.
Yeah.
I will say that
Oof.
right out.
Oof.
Yeah, that's
Jay
fair to
laying it
say.
down.
Like the way that things have gone this year, it's just gotten worse and worse. The best countries are basically at an equilibrium point. Uh, so at this point, doing anything to jeopardize that, any kind of large events, is just insane.
You know,
The Olympics
and
got
It.
canceled.
yeah, events on much larger scales affecting many more people have made the sacrifice. I, I'm not going to say that I know what your business structure is, what your numbers are looking like, what your bank account looks like. We 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 face
We're not
those
privy to
issues
that.
too. But like even as individuals, like people have either been on furlough or all these other things. But I'm just saying that
Mhm.
like you have to make the decision that's best for your community, if especially if you brand yourself as an event for the community. And we're not saying that you're like, low level, you know, kind of just grassroots kind of that community, but you have to look out for your people. And I'm not just talking about the ones that are on your board of directors or whatever you want to call them.
Is
So,
it fair to shift some of the blame to anyone who buys a ticket? Because anyone buying a
be,
ticket knows exactly what they're signing up for. Let's be real at this point.
at this point, yes, because they the tickets, I think today, what day is today? 28, 29?
28th. And this will
Okay,
28th.
be
tickets
airing
are going on sale tomorrow.
on
On
the
the
30th.
30th.
Yeah, they're going on sale either tomorrow on the
So,
30th,
listeners,
whatever,
they went on
before.
sale yesterday. I hope you didn't buy one.
Well, then you'd have to travel there and you'd have to quarantine when
You'd
you
have to
got there and
pray
you'd
that
have
the
to quarantine
border
when you got
opens up.
home. But all
Yeah,
these
that's
other,
Actually, no,
but
true.
you can fly to the States right now, but it's still a hell of a
yeah,
lot of
I I
headache.
get why a population like LA could possibly handle it, but there's no need. There's no need. Like there's so many other large events. I want to say so. I know PAX. I know Rooster Teeth, I believe, and other ones that it's not like I follow everything. I'm sure that I know for sure those two have been doing digital events for their respective audiences, and they also have quite large audiences and um, big footprints in the event side of things. And I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know why you have to do this. It's just like, even if you're backed up against a wall, this is like the least compassionate choice you could make.
It's pants on head stupid.
Sure
I'm
is.
just gonna go on and say that this is really irresponsible, and I fully believe it's a bad idea.
And maybe
But
you'll never hear of us, or you'll never hear of it. But I hope you hear of it from somebody that you know and respect. I really do, and because you have time to cancel it, you have time to postpone it, you have time to reissue things, you have time to figure it out. But this is not the way.
They do not know the way.
No. But hey, I don't want it to I don't want to end this on a negative. So on the positive side of things,
On the positive side of things, 12-foot skeleton.
12-foot skeletons
so
exist.
tell me
October
about this
12-foot
exists.
12-foot
skeleton.
skeleton.
Yeah.
So Home Depot has a 12-foot skeleton that you can buy for something like 400 Canadian dollars.
Canadian
Holy crap!
dollars.
Yeah, the Canadian dollars, the maple syrup flavored ones.
So you guys gonna do any Halloween decorating
Yes.
on that note?
Absolutely, non-negotiable.
I
Decorations
mean,
will happen.
I'm probably not because I live in an apartment, but
Uh,
are you gonna,
as
Nancy?
far
'Cause
as
you
as
live
far
in
as
Still do your
candy
room.
goes, I'm probably just
Okay.
going to put a bowl of candy out by the sidewalk in a bowl or something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If
Maybe
people
with
want to
like
have it, by all means.
some hand sanitizer beside it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just
Yeah.
skip the bowl and open up a box. Open up the box right away.
Just leave the box out there.
I would like to go distribute candy. I would also like to just watch some horror movies. Like I'm just open for whatever. I mostly just feel bad for kids because, they're the ones who really lose out on it. We as adults were like, we kind of just got our own things to do anyways. We'll probably hang out and play Among Us or something.
Dude, kids are
For all I know,
so
right?
screwed
Yourself.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But also speak for yourself. There's a fair number of people our age who absolutely adore Halloween bar hopping and stuff, festivities.
My boss at work came in to do some stuff, and it just ended up me and him talking about this 12-foot skeleton for like 45 minutes.
I would
What
buy
would you
one
do
if
with
I
it?
had a house. If I had a house, I would straight up
So
I just throw the
But
400
it
bucks
digs
away.
into your graphics card fund.
that's the thing.
No, it
He
doesn't.
wanted to buy
Those are
like a
different
used
things.
gaming PC, and the skeleton would have taken up the entire budget that he had set aside for that. Uh,
Oof.
Now, my complaints with the skeleton are that only the arms are really posable. The rest of it, just because of the weight of the unit, isn't posable. So it's just this giant, tall, spooky standing
But here's
skeleton,
the thing.
and it's
I'm
got
not
light
about
up LCD eyes.
Yes, yes. But
Okay.
I'm not personally just about it standing up. Like I would have preferred it to be just generally posable because first of all, you're paying 400 bucks for the thing. I don't care what size it
Yeah,
Imagine
is.
I'm
having it
surprised.
Second
laying
of
on your
all,
lawn in like a sexy paint me like one of
exactly.
your French girls
That's
Yeah.
pose.
exactly what I wanted to
Yeah,
do.
paint me
I
like
don't
one of your French girls.
I wasn't gonna just I wasn't gonna use this skeleton just for Halloween. I bought a $400 fucking skeleton that's 12 feet high. You best believe that's coming out on Valentine's Day. You best believe Easter's gonna be a part of the skeleton's
Oh my god,
life.
an Easter
Oh my
skeleton.
god.
You know what though? An Easter skeleton with a 12-foot skeleton isn't bad because you could easily the arms are posable if I remember right. You could put like
Yeah.
a giant Easter basket in each of his
Cross.
hand with
Heck yeah.
like just tons of
Of
like little
candy.
egg-filled like
Yeah,
egg-shaped
yeah.
like candy
Yeah,
gotcha bulbs.
yeah.
I don't know
If
what
you-
you
Mini,
would call them.
If
mini
you wanted to
eggs.
be extra sacrilegious, you could have him holding the T pose while doing that as well, and then just erect a giant cross behind.
I
Oh
don't
my
understand
god.
I don't understand being the first letter of YMCA has to do with anything, Nancy.
No,
No,
nothing at all.
no. She's saying crucify the giant skeleton. He died
I
for our
didn't hear that.
sins.
No, that's not what Nancy said. You said that.
I said T pose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said T-pose.
No. T-pose
Yeah.
is
Yes.
Yeah, Christ
That's just a
T-posed
that's
to
just
show
reference.
dominance on the Romans.
Jesus.
But also holding Easter baskets.
Yes.
Yeah. Which reminds me of a terrible joke that I don't know if I've mentioned on the podcast, but it's like if Jesus ever came back and he's like, "What did you call the day that I died?" and people would be like, Good Friday," and he'd be like, "Sorry, what did you say?" I called it. We call it Good Friday. So,
Oh, feels bad, man.
right? I think we've already screwed ourselves on that one.
Yeah. Anyway, sacrilegiousness aside,
He's a chill guy.
think
I think
having
he'd be okay with
opposable-
it.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
having a posable skeleton would be pretty excellent for Easter, just because you could do a couple different things for it. Like you could pose it like it was
bro,
supposed to be an Easter bunny, and then put like a little Easter bunny headband on it.
on like Canada Day, I would buy one of those large Canadian flags, and he could hold the large Canadian flag for me.
That'd be wonderful.
That'd be
I
great.
would have it wear the Canadian flag like a towel around its waist.
Or
No,
like a cape, like he's a super skeleton man.
Yep, or like a cape.
but yeah, I would like. I don't know. I would just not have him standing all the time, anyways. I think there's a lot of fun things you could do with how he's standing and how he chills.
Yeah, it's
Make
a
it look like
shame.
he's climbing up the side of your house.
Oh dear.
Oh, there was
You could
actually
do that.
I saw someone was already doing Halloween decorations like that, but with just miniature skeletons, so it looked like they were just crawling all over the outside, the exterior. It was
How
great.
wonderful.
I like that a
How
lot.
lovely.
It was all over the roof and on the walls and in the garden and the hedges leading up to the walls. It was cool.
Jeez.
The
They
skeleton
bought
war
like
has begun.
yeah,
Are
they bought
you
like 8 of
Did it
those.
prepared?
partially bury some of them?
So it was very impressive.
Hmm.
Uh yeah, I don't know. October is coming. We're coming into holiday season, so Thanksgiving is coming too. I'm hoping to get some sort of turkey dinner, but that's whether whether that's actually going to happen is a whole other thing.
Are you gonna do a turducken?
No, probably not. I mean,
I
that's
don't
just
think
too much
between
stuff.
Bayfar and Jay they could finish a turducken.
No.
They could always get like the smaller portioned, like it's just the breast, so it's just like a turducken breast.
Oh, that doesn't sound nearly as good. If
That
It's
anything,
not
defeats
as
the
this
good,
is
but
what
you
purpose.
we're
can
this
get
is what
those.
we could do. Knowing Bayfar and I, we can make the turkey, or we could cook some turkey. We can buy a roast chicken from Safeway. We can
Mm.
order some Peking duck in,
And
and
then mush
that's
them all
it.
together.
No, we're not mushing them together at all. We're gonna enjoy them separately, like
Separately.
because they
But with
taste better
mashed potatoes.
separately. Yes,
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
pumpkin pie because I love like the pumpkin
You gotta have
spice.
pumpkin pie.
I love pumpkin pie.
Yeah, pumpkin pie
Sounds like a
is
good Thanksgiving.
non-negotiable. You gotta have the pumpkin pie.
hmm What's your favorite
I-
side to go with a turkey dinner?
Pumpkin pie.
I knew you were gonna say that, but I asked it anyways.
But
Nancy?
you asked anyway. Favorite side. So like any side, not just dessert.
No, like a side as in that goes with the meal. So pumpkin pie
Mashed
would not
potatoes.
have counted.
Yeah,
It would
mashed
be
potatoes
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
are extremely top tier.
Honestly,
Roast
yeah.
garlic mashed
It's
potatoes.
turkey and mashed potatoes. Like I don't need the carrots, I don't need the Brussels sprouts. Like I love all that stuff, but as long as you give me the turk and the mashed potatoes and gravy, that's it. That's all that
Gravy is
needs to be
absolutely
there
required.
on there. So, oh, I'm getting my hopes up is what's happening, and I feel sad. now.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, I'm gonna end the episode now before I get too sad
We're
about.
sleepy and
thanks.
depressed? What a way to go out.
How
Before
can
I
you
get
get
sad
depressed
about it-
talking about turkey and mashed potatoes
Before
and
I get
pumpkin
upset
pie?
about a Thanksgiving that might not happen in the way that I would want it to, so I'm going to leave now. Thank
Hey,
you for
bye.
listening.
We'll keep talking without you.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Have a good one. Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.